Nicks and Bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. Just jumped off the Losers Lounge, and now I got my guy Sim here with me. We're gonna talk about Brunson and Cat being the best point guard center duo since Kobe and Shaquille O'Neal.
Mm.
And I don't think there's any debate.
Ooh.
I've been looking and doing a little bit of research. Currently Cat is averaging 26.3 points a game. Brunson 24.9. So, they both averaging 25. That hasn't been done from a point guard and a center duo since Shaquille O'Neal and Kobe. I don't see them dropping off in points as time goes on. But yeah, what do you think about that? Sim? Like,
Uh, I guess the only thing I would say to it is we need to see the longevity of it. You know,
when you say that, you mean over years, or you
yeah.
mean okay?
Over years, the longevity over years. You know what I mean? Do both of them remain playing at a high level, and does it continue to chemistry continue to grow and so on?
I mean, ultimately, it's they won't surpass them. I can't see them surpassing them for the simple fact that championships are gonna have to be accumulated
Oh yeah.
multiple. You know what I mean, for us to even surpass them. But since I don't think there's an argument
I mean,
because when
since they've been together, I mean, and it's early. I mean, they're what 20 games in or less or whatever. However,
16 games,
16 games in, and they've already been proven to be a super dynamic duo.
yeah,
Um,
16 games together.
yeah, 16 games, and they've already proven to be a super dynamic duo. Um, I mean,
Here's the
it's
thing.
hard to stop him because Brunson can get what he wants. You know what I mean? And he's proven to be a guy who can, people complained about Brunson not being a distributor and everything for, the time that he's been here. Not a lot of people, but a few people. Now he's proven everyone that he can find Cat, he can find OG, he can find Mikal. Um, 17 assists last night versus the Denver Nuggets. You know what I mean? But him and Karl Anthony Towns, almost from the time they got here, I've seen it in preseason. You could see the chemistry between the two.
And you already, I mean, you said last night you think Cat could jump up to 30 points by season's end. He's at 36.3. Um, I don't think Brunson's points are gonna drop. Like, I do think his assists are gonna accumulate and still, you know, I don't know if he hits 10. You know what I mean, for the year, but I think he's gonna be close. He's gonna be 9.1 or something like that, and I think his points stay. I think Brunson might end up like over 25. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I think
27,
right,
26.
right, because he's had a slow start.
Yes, and he's not put together many efficient games.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they've probably been an even split as far as like his efficient games and his inefficient games.
Yeah. I mean, when you look at the numbers, you know what I'm saying? I don't think there's a duo in the league right now, a point guard center duo right now that's matching their numbers,
No,
right?
and when you start at the center position, like that's how you really start narrowing out um the competition, if you will, because top two centers have been Jokic and Embiid. So at full strength, everybody at their peak, you can make the argument for Murray, Jokic. You can make the argument for Embiid, Maxi. You know what I mean? Potentially wise, but Embiid Maxi is relatively new. You know what I mean? And it's all speculative because Embiid hasn't been his best, and
Mhm.
Maxi really just popped last year.
Mhm.
Obviously, Jokic and Murray have won a chip. And I actually was gonna ask you this on a losers lounge. Um, but I'm put it as a statement. I feel like they haven't been the same since they won the chip.
That's
And
true.
and even like
That's
from
true.
a organization standpoint, they haven't they didn't take the Celtics approach or other teams approach when they win a chip and run it back. They let players walk. You know what I mean? They
Mhm.
try to save money. They try to
Mhm.
stay under the. You know what I mean? So they're not necessarily looking to one up themselves or get better in a sense. You know what I mean? Like they're saying we got these two guys. But again, they haven't looked the same since they won. Murray is arguably a worse defender than Brunson.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I think I agree with you. It's gonna let's see how it unfolds over years.
Yeah.
But right now, currently, today, as we speak, I don't think there's a better duo point guard center.
Um, where do you see this duo going?
The the great thing is really sky's the limit. Like it feels like number one, they're both entering their prime, right?
Right.
And their
Right.
prime is ahead of them. So you're saying let's see over years. Over these years, they're gonna be in their prime. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's
Exactly.
no decline coming right now. It's all going up. The
Right.
trajectory is up. So sky is really the limit. Where I mean, hopefully at
I mean,
least one chip. You know what I mean?
at
Like
least one chip.
at
Right.
least one chip. But once you get the first one, and depending on how soon it comes, um, then it becomes all right. How many can we get? You know what I mean?
I mean, right now, Carl Anthony Towns is averaging 26.3 points per game, 12.6 rebounds per game. Jalen Brunson, 24.9 points per game and 7.9 assists. That assist number is going up.
Yeah, and I didn't know he was at 7.9 already.
Yeah.
I
I
think he
mean,
could hit 10.
that number.
Now I think he could hit 10.
I mean, over the last 5 games, he's had 10 assists, 11 assists, 10 assists, 8 assists, 17 assists. So over the last 5 games, he's averaging more than 10 assists
More
per
than
game.
10 assists, yeah.
Yeah.
I mentioned this before, Sim,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna keep mentioning it periodically. The last two times the Minnesota Timberwolves traded a star power forward, that star power forward won the championship.
Kevin Garnett. Who's the other one?
Kevin Love.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Those I'm telling you, the stars are the stars are aligning.
In alignment. Hey, okay. I didn't even think about that.
And they won immediately.
Yeah. Right.
Like it take a
Years.
year. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I don't know, man. I feel like the time is now. The time is coming. Um, next topic, last topic.
Yeah.
You was gonna
Just
say something?
real quick. I see both of them. I mean, looking at their contracts, I see them both being here for years. Right. I see them being here for years and that chemistry really growing for years. And unlike Shaq and Kobe, I don't think you're gonna have to worry about their egos splitting them up.
Hmm.
So that's definitely a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. Like I didn't even think about that part. Like I knew where you were going as soon as you started saying it, but I didn't even think about that part. And they seem to genuinely like each
Like
other.
each other. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So not just them, the team.
The team. The team.
You know what I mean? Like these guys seem to have matching personalities, and I don't know how intentional that is with the as front office wise,
Hmm.
but whether it is or if it isn't, if it's luck, that's you know what I mean. That's dope, and if it's intentional, that's more credit to them.
Right.
Shout out to Buck Star. He said we definitely making it to the finals when we're healthy. Besides Boston, everyone else's food.
Okay. Well, I mean, Cleveland ain't right now.
Yeah, let's play them again and see
you
where
know,
we are. But they ain't smack us. That's
nah,
the
they ain't
difference.
smack
You
us.
know what I mean? Like arguably, you know what I mean? Like biased opinion, we should have won that game.
We should have. We should have. And I don't think Boston is gonna smack us next time we play them either. We were just new. What I mean? We were just new. So I don't think they're gonna smack us.
OG's potential. I mean, you've been on record, so I'll let you take the lead. But like I said yesterday, I concede. Like I'm
I mean, I don't know what his potential is as far as you know. He's the third best player on the team, in my opinion, right now. Um, does he have the potential to overtake one of the top two spots on his team? I don't know about that, but he doesn't have to. You know what I mean? He's just got to be, you know, what do they call it? He doesn't have to be an all star, but an all star candidate, or
not
you know,
or not even perennial.
right? Not even perennial. You know what I'm saying? He gives you all star production, all star numbers. That's all I care about. All star production. And fits in with the team. He has the potential to be an all star.
Do
I
you
think.
think that's the highest potential accolade he could get? Because I feel like he's a lock at least as a candidate for defensive player of the
Oh
year.
yeah. Oh yeah. I think he could be a defensive player of the year guy.
And can you be defensive player of the year and not be all NBA or not be a candidate?
Or not make all defensive team. I think if you're the defensive player of the year, you got to be on the all defensive team, right?
Absolutely.
You got to be
Yeah,
on that.
yeah, without question. So, do you think his? What do you think his highest? So when I say ceiling, I'm speaking accolades wise. What
Mm.
do you think is the highest likely to lowest likely?
I mean, I think highest is, I don't know what you count more, all star or defensive player of the year. I don't know which one is highest.
I would put defensive player of the year. I think he
So,
could get snubbed as an all star and
right,
be a defensive
could be a
player of the year.
defensive player of the year. I mean, I think he could be a defensive player of the year, no doubt about it.
And
I
then to
don't
your
know if
point,
I see him being all NBA
all defensive would probably be the highest percentage, right? Because he could not be defensive player of the year and still be
and all star.
all defensive player.
Oh, right,
So
right,
that would be the highest potential, right? The highest
okay,
possibility.
yeah.
Put that in the 80 percentile, or whatever. You know what I mean? The 80% chance.
He could definitely be all defensive player. I mean, a defensive player of the year. He could be that. There's no doubt in my mind that he could be that. Do I ever see him being all? Do I see him being all NBA? I don't think I see him being all NBA. You know, there's too many guys at his position.
That's true.
Too many.
And you talking about 6 spots?
Right, right,
You know what I mean? Like between the 3 and the 4,
right. Between the three and the
and
four,
3 teams.
like, there's mad guys at that position. You know.
Not this year, I'll say that.
Okay. You
So
know.
that not this year for all NBA.
But I'm really interested to just continue to watch him go, grow, develop, and really find his game.
What do you think about the Kawhi comparisons?
Hmm.
Because I've been ignoring it for years,
Mm-hmm. I think
but
I think Kawhi is more of a shot creator, a little bit more of a shot creator, a better shot creator than OG.
but Kawhi grew into that.
He did, but I think he had it even when he was young, though.
You do?
Like, I think you could see him, have that. You could see him go like he went more. He went one out the mentality, and now the play styles are similar,
Mm-hmm.
though, and definitely similar.
It
Very,
looks similar. The
yeah,
aesthetics,
right,
especially like the pull up, get to, you know what I mean? Just get to
yeah,
your spot pull up.
yeah. Keith
Nothing too.
Watkins said Kawhi is a better shooter. I don't know. OG is shooting
Maybe,
that thing. OG is shooting
yeah,
that
yeah.
thing. Come
And
on.
I wouldn't even put it like a better shooter from 3. I don't know. It's interesting to see what OG, what you know what I mean, where he ends up peaking at. And how old is OG?
27?
So
Yeah,
again,
27.
prime.
Prime. That's the thing about this squad. All these players in their prime. OG, Cal, Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony Towns.
The
All
whole
these
starting
guys,
five, pretty much.
the whole starting five in their prime.
Yeah, the
Josh
future.
Hart,
Yeah, Josh Hart. The future's bright.
yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get a group of guys that's playing in their prime, and sometimes you get a guy in their prime, they're all star for 1 or 2 seasons, right?
Hmm.
So you don't got to have all these Hall of Famers. You can get a bunch of guys that play an all star level. Whether or not they make the all star team, they're playing at an all star level, and you got a group of them for a good 2 to 3 years. You put yourself in a position to win a championship.
Yeah, and there's no work when you think about some of the guys that were on the team that aren't here. Um, even my favorites in IQ and RJ in particular, guys who weren't in their prime yet, but had that kind of energy of I want to, you know what I mean. I want to be there now. Like,
Mhm.
not saying they bumped heads and it wouldn't have worked and it couldn't have fit, but when you got everybody in their prime, it's a little bit different than some younger aspiring guys, or even some past their prime guys that don't realize that.
Right,
You know what I mean? Like now everything is kind of aligned on the same page, same mentality, same goal. You know what I mean? No individual no selfishness. You know what I mean? Like it's all like-minded people. So yeah, man, this is a great year, man. It's a great year. It's gonna be ups and downs. You know what I mean? Like it's probably for the best that we wasn't able to do the Jazz post game. You know what I mean? Because it might have been some things said that we had to we might have had to walk back.
Right. For real.
You know what I mean? I think that was just written for us to miss that one. Like it wasn't
Right.
coordinated or anything. It just so happened. But
Just happened. Yeah. Nah, no doubt about that.
the bounce back, you know what I mean? The way they responded,
Yeah.
something to be said about that.
And you know, those things just show that this team, how much heart they have, you know, got some grit. So, you know, a lot of the questions that we've been asking about the team are, as time goes on, are being answered.
Last one for real. Um, East Blue. He says OG's giving us what Mikal was supposed to. A lot of people feel that way. You know, a lot of people. You know, we thought the pecking order, if you will, was gonna be OG third, Mikal. Oh, pardon me, OG fourth, Mikal third. It's kind of flip flop. Some will
Mhm.
argue, you know, Josh Hart is has been of more importance.
Be
And
consistent. Yeah.
um, I know we kind of touched on it previously, but what's your thoughts on Macau? I just want to preference by um as great of a year as DiVincenzo had,
Hmm.
he started the year horrible.
Right. I
Like
think,
you know what I mean? Like, granted, he wasn't in the starting unit to start the year,
yeah.
but he started the year bad.
Yeah. I think Macau's going to be all right. You know, I mean, OG's going to go into a slump at some point, right? And sometimes your slump comes in the beginning of the season. Sometimes it comes at the end of the season. Sometimes it comes in the middle. Right? All players are going to go through a little bit of a slump. Um, and you know, you hope that they bounce back, right? You know, Mikal is finding his way, finding his rhythm. He's a Mikal Bridges is a system player, right? I said this to State when I was on the show. I was telling him he's a system player. System players, he's a high level system player, right? And in order for a system player to be in rhythm, the entire offense, everything needs to be in rhythm. You know what I mean? And you've got to be comfortable with where you're getting the ball, comfortable with where you're shooting the ball. Like you got to know these things because you're not the guy that's going to always break down the defense and go get his own bucket. You're relying on the system to create the opening for you. Now, you got to know when to take it. You got to know when to cut. You got to know when to be spotting up. You got to know when you're taking your midi. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you got to know when I capitalize on certain things. But for the most part, he's he plays within the system. You know what I'm saying? And I think as the system gets in more rhythm and he starts to find his areas on the floor where he's most comfortable and his teammates know that's where he is in this particular offense, that's when we're really going to see, you know, his accuracy go up.
That being said, does that you're not taking away from his ability to create on his own,
I'm not taking away from his ability to create,
or
but
you saying like his peak, his best.
I mean, I think he has the ability, but I think we're not relying on him to be one of our main creators. You know what I'm saying? So especially with this, you know, with this team, he's definitely a system guy, and I think that's probably where he's best
Best.
and going to be his most efficient. You know what I'm saying? And be the best player is being the guy that's in the system. But you know, if this guy's down, that guy's down, he can take over for a couple of games to be a creator for you. But I don't think you're relying on him to consistently be, the guy that's breaking down the defense every single night and you know, like doing what Jalen Brunson does for you. I don't think that's his game.
Well, I'm a stand on my original thoughts and say that I think both of those guys, OG and Mikal, will end up closer to 20 points per game
Dope.
than you know what I mean right now. I mean right now Mikal's damn near 16 a game,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and
Come on.
is and is not shooting the three well at all.
Right.
So he get hot, he could easily get that closer to 20. You know what I mean? If he go on a stretch like OG,
Mm-hmm.
just
Right.
shooting, just percentage wise,
Yeah, right now he's 15.6 points per game. He's shooting the ball 46% from the field and 30% from three. When that 3-point shooting goes up, his field goal percentage is going to go up. You're gonna see his buckets. You see his points per game go up. Now his free throw attempts, and that's one of the
team things.
right. That's one of the signs that you got a system player. They don't shoot free throws a lot because they're not creating. They're not putting pressure on the defense through their own dribble penetration. You know, or through post ups where guys got to foul them so they don't get to the line because they're getting cuts to the basket. They're getting kickouts for a jumper. You know what I'm saying? They're getting out in transition and catching it in transition. So those guys don't get a lot of free throws because they're not putting that much pressure on the D.
You know, it's crazy. I feel like I mean, I've said this early in the year. I feel like Cat should be at the line way more than he is. Like I don't think he gets the call for how as aggressive he is, especially on his drives.
Hmm.
Um, and he's I mean I don't know. I guess everybody complains a lot. You know what I mean? But I feel like I see a foul and he's usually complaining in those instances.
Yeah,
Do you think he's capable, or do you think his free throw numbers? Because we gotta get more free throws as a team.
yeah.
Like
I
that's
mean,
one of our biggest areas of improvement that we need to focus on.
the thing with Cat is he shoots a lot of threes, right? So that takes him away from the basket a lot, which is going to lower his free throw attempts.
You think, but he I think he drives more than he shoots threes. Um, you know, currently, I, it may I expect the threes to go up from what they are, but he's shooting like what five at most.
He's shooting 5 a game, but he's only taking 17 shots.
So, but out of them
So,
other 12, you would think at least five of them are drives to the basket. Do you think
mhm.
he needs to post up to get to the line
I
as
see.
opposed to driving?
The thing about his post ups, in my opinion, when you watch Cat post up, he doesn't impose pressure on the opposing player. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a power game when he's
Mm-hmm.
posting up that's forcing the other player to foul you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can see Cat get knocked off his block a little bit when he's posting up. He doesn't always have his balance underneath him or his lower body underneath him, in my opinion, when he's posting up. You don't see him just like bang the guy back, bang the guy back, bang the guy back.
I agree
Or,
100%.
you
That's
know,
why I think his fouls should come from the drive.
Yeah, yeah. Right, come from a drive because he's not going to get it in the post. I don't think he has enough power. He do- he has the power. I don't think he uses his leverage correctly enough to get those foul calls when he's in the post. So yeah, it would have to come from the drive. But when he drives, he steps around players a lot too.
That's true too. That's true
Right, he
too.
steps around and lays it up. Which and then some of his drives get clean to the basket. So yeah, I don't know
So
how it's tough.
do you have a solution?
We don't have a guy that straight like
Bangs.
attacks the basket with aggression. Even Jalen Brunson is footwork getting to the basket, which still allows the defense to kind of settle in a little bit and try to defend it without fouling.
Actually, Josh Hart probably is the
Maybe
most
he might be
aggressive, you know what I mean, at going to the
at going to the
basket,
basket.
looking for contact.
Yeah.
Um,
Yup.
that like now that I'm thinking about it, he's probably the only one that attacks that way
Yeah.
and looks for the contact.
Yeah. So we don't just have that guy that's just like, well, Josh, does that, but like just like that fast guy that boom hits the lane real hard. It caused the defense to go into a panic. Now they collapse and they foul you. We
And,
kind of slowly get our way into the into the paint, which I'm not saying it's bad, but it doesn't put the panic onto the defense. It doesn't make the defense panic. Because they can kind of see it happening. You know, so I don't know what we're gonna do about the free throw shooting.
um, is that your biggest concern? And because that's for me, I think that's
It is. It's a big concern because
other than defense, but I think over time that's gonna come with Precious
when
and Mitch.
when we hit those nights when we're not scoring, we need to get to the free throw line. When we're not hitting buckets, the entire team is off. We need to be able to get to the free throw line to make up those points until we start hitting. And I don't know if we can do that.
No doubt. Um, well, I'm gonna get out of here. I know you gotta hit the road.
Yeah,
Are you gonna be settled for a pregame
I hope
or
so.
post game?
I don't know. I hope so. I'm gonna see when I get. I'm bringing my equipment, so I'll see
All
when
right,
we get there.
all
Yeah,
right. Well, I'll be at work for pregame, but if we're doing the post game and all that, I'll be ready for it.
no doubt.
Um, if by chance you occupied, have a great Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to
Same
the
to you,
chat.
bro.
You
Same to
know,
you and everybody in the chat.
replay gang.
Yeah.
Salute. Um, until next time, your blackest time.
Peace.
We out.